Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Serpent, and I have Steve here from VyFi. Steve, it is such a pleasure to have the CEO here to give us the latest updates. It's been a little while since you were last on the show, but super excited what you're doing on the Cardano platform.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, mate. It's great to be here. It has been a little while, but we've just had our heads down, hard work, building away, and we're here because we're launching on the 15th, actually, our DEX and our bar. So, we want everyone to be able to know that we're launching, we're coming online, and everything is ripping and ready to go, really.
No, it's fantastic. I've followed the project. I've kept up to date with the project. We were talking a little bit earlier about, what happened back in July with my wallet and, all the NFTs and things that got drained out of that computer. But it is really exciting to be back and to see the progress that you guys have made, like the Cardano blockchain and some of the capabilities that are available to developers like yourselves on that chain do allow some very unique things to happen. And I know how hard your team works. To the audience that may have never heard of you guys, they may be a little bit lazy. They might not go back and watch the original videos that we made on this channel about your organization. Before we go on about the latest 2023 updates and the upcoming launch, could you give us a little bit of a preview around what the project is?
Absolutely. So VyFi is a decentralized finance ecosystem on Cardano, so a DeFi ecosystem. We have a host of products, so we do quite a few things. What we have live right now is the time of us talking, which may change depending on when this goes up. This video goes up. We currently have community vaults, which is essentially we allow staking of NFTs and tokens from multiple projects across Cardano. To earn rewards in either VyFi or in that project's token. We've got 20 projects on our platform. We had the first governance on Cardano. We have a lottery. We have I'm forgetting something. Governance, lottery, things. And we have our DEX and our bar launching on Monday. How can I forget that? It's the most important one, right? Just to quickly explain what our bar is, because a DEX, that's where people can swap tokens, provide liquidity, and farm. So a DEX in a classic sense. But the VyBar is a distributive mechanism that allows users to stake their VyFi, so VyFi token, and it gets distributed a percentage of every trade that takes place on our DEX, right? So we essentially collect the fees that take place on our DEX. We use a portion of them, 1/3 of the fees, to buy back VyFi from the market, and we distribute that VyFi to all the people that have staked their tokens to our bar.
Awesome.
Right? And that's the first distributive mechanism on Cardano. So this is the first time that we've ever been able to create an inbuilt mechanism that redistributes fees on the entire Cardano blockchain. So we're really excited for that.
That's really awesome. How many, what is the size of the team at the moment? So how many of you are there?
9.
9. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
so
cool.
It's a pretty big team. It's been a pretty big team for a while now. We've been building this for 2 years. So overall, we are a fairly comprehensive DeFi ecosystem, right? We've got staking opportunities for different communities and different projects on our platform. We're going to have our trading and our DEX running on our platform. We're going to have the first distributive mechanism on Cardano, allowing users to share in the volume that takes place on our DEX. So at its core, and I should add, after that, we're building the first auto harvester on Cardano, which is essentially an automated liquidity mining system. It would allow users to just approach our DEX, put in only Cardano, and then the system essentially has got strategies that it will perform for you and give you back that farm that it earns. Right?
Fantastic. What sort of numbers are we talking about when we talk about the yields?
I wish I could give you an answer just yet. I'll be able to give you a much clearer answer on Monday.
Awesome. Awesome. I had to try.
Have to, yeah. But on Monday when we launch, we're going to start seeing what those yields look like. We are actually launching our farms 2 weeks after we launch liquidity provision on our DEX. So on Monday, we're launching our DEX and our bar. right? And that's on the 15th. And then on the 29th, we launch farming. So it gives people 2 weeks to roll their liquidity in before we begin that farming payout. And then from there, farming has started. You know, that goes on forever.
Brilliant, brilliant. And now for the Australian audience, that will be on Tuesday. That will take place.
Yeah, for the Australian audience, that'll be on Tuesday. Yeah, correct.
And yourself, you're in Australia right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. That's why I'm so tired.
Yes, yes.
So
One of
I
the
live a
joys
nocturnal
of,
lifestyle in Oz.
one of the joys of living in Australia and having an international business. Had a
Yeah.
call last night. It was 2 a.m. It's not easy. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
you live that life as well. You know it. You know it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we've all in Australia contemplated, well, I live overseas now. Like, is it time to, say move to Dubai and be more, central when it comes to the time?
Yeah.
In terms of from people keeping up to date with what you guys are up to, what are your best recommendations? Is it Twitter? Is it Telegram? What are the best channels for people to keep up to date?
Definitely Twitter, Telegram, Discord. I'm sure you'll link those in the doobly-doo down below.
Of course.
And our Medium as well. We've got a lot coming. We've got a lot of information on our Medium because there's a lot of things. And actually, you mentioned this earlier. Cardano is a unique technology, and we've done a lot of unique things within our DEX that is new to DEXs, right? And I'll explain to you a couple of examples of what we've implemented that's really that we're really excited about.
Brilliant.
So first, we have what we're calling stakeless LP farming, or non-custodial LP farming is what we call it within Cardano. Essentially, once a user has created liquidity on our DEX, right, they don't have to actually stake that liquidity pool token anywhere to begin earning their farm, right? They only have to hold that liquidity pool token in their wallet, and they're automatically earning farm on that liquidity pool token. Now, this really simplifies the process for a new user. The way that it currently works on DEX is if you want to farm, you need to provide liquidity, approve the farm, deposit the liquidity pool token into the farm. That's a 3-transaction process. On our system, all you have to do is put in the liquidity, receive the liquidity pool token, and you're instantly farming. So it's a single transaction process. And more so, that means no new user is ever going to be missing out on farm. And I'm sure you've had the experience, Ivan, where, should I call you Crypto Serpent? Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sure we've all had the experience where we're teaching someone how to use a DEX or how to use these DeFi systems, right? And you set them all up and you show them some stuff and you come back a week later and you're like, let's go see how you've done. And then you realize they forgot to put half of their liquidity pool tokens in a farm. Yeah. So they just suddenly haven't been farming all week. You're like, damn it. That's never going to happen on our DEX. Everyone who's in liquidity will get the farm that they're entitled to.
Yes.
Right.
And they have to hold the token or the
liquidity pool token.
Yeah, the liquidity pool token.
Correct. The liquidity pool token just stays in your wallet. So after you've added liquidity, it just stays in your wallet and you're earning farm.
That's brilliant.
What this means as well, we've developed on this idea already for launch, because LP tokens, as they are now, are essentially dead value, right? You receive them and I use them to lock them away in a vault. And then that vault is earning me something.
Yep.
And that value is locked in the vault.
Yes.
But now that we have non-custodial LP farming and it's stakeless, you can earn it stakelessly. These LPs are now loose value in your wallet. You can actually use them for the value that they're worth, right? Because they are worth value. They're representative of 2 underlying tokens, right? So the first tool that we're going to be implementing on launch is what we're calling layer 2 liquidity pools. And we've got a Medium article describing this. If you could link that Medium article here while we're talking, above or somewhere, that would be amazing. Or below.
I'll put it in the descriptions and I'll make sure that you can see them.
So what a layer 2 liquidity pool is, it's essentially a system whereby if you've got the liquidity pool token, let's say you provided liquidity to Art of VyFi, right? You've got Art of VyFi as a liquidity pool token now, right? You can take that Art of VyFi liquidity pool token, you can match it with Cardano, and you can put it into liquidity itself. So now you've got a layer 2 liquidity pool.
Amazing.
We give you a boosted farm for doing this because you're adding more liquidity. So we boost your farm for adding the extra liquidity. And now what this means, let's look at it from look at this from both perspectives. From a new trader perspective, because layer 2 liquidity pools exist, that means that we now have a market to buy liquidity pool tokens.
Yes.
Right? You can go to our front end and you can just press the swap button, select an LP token, and press I want 500 Cardano with that, enter, trade. And now you've got 500 Cardano with that liquidity pool token. And because we got stakeless LP farming, that means that a new user is going to be able to engage with liquidity simply by going to the front page of our DEX, selecting the LP token. I want 500 ADA, trade. The LP token arrives in their wallet. They go to the dashboard. They're instantly farming.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And
right?
all of this kicks off Monday.
Monday, yeah. So for the first time, we're going to have a front-end market for liquidity pool tokens that allows new users to begin liquidity pool farming without even having to supply liquidity.
Yeah, that's amazing, because from my end, and from the Crypto Serpent side, and from, you know, all the stages, you know, around Australia that we talk about, and, you know, CryptoCon coming in November in Melbourne, which I'll chat to you guys about it. I hope to see you guys there as well. It'll be it's always, you know, oh my god, that sounds too hard. Oh my god, that's too complicated. Oh my god, I'm lost. You lost me at, you know, I need to have 2 tokens and they're going to put the other token into, you know, like people want simple. You know, iPhone is so popular because it just works. Like, I don't have to do anything.
That's exactly it. And that's exactly our focus has been in designing this DEX, right? How can we implement the Cardano technology to allow us the capacity to simplify this process to be as easy as possible for a new user? You know, and there's nothing easier than just going to a swap, selecting a token, putting in how much you want to buy, enter.
Yes.
And that action is going to involve you giving liquidity, is going to be the equivalent to, putting in liquidity, getting the LP token, and putting it into farm. All of that takes place with a single swap.
I want to ask you, a lot of people, like in the community, like unless you dive into the Cardano blockchain and its features and benefits, a lot of people don't understand Cardano. There's a portion of the market that doesn't really believe in Cardano, right? And for a long time, I was in that pool of people that went, nah, I don't get it. I don't think it's as good as they claim it out to be. As a developer, for the last 2 years building on this blockchain, what's your experience been like?
That's a mixed question. It's a mixture of a lot of satisfaction and a lot of difficulty.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's honest.
I think the reality is that we're starting from scratch, right? So the Cardano blockchain, not now, but definitely 2 years ago, was very much where Ethereum was in 2017, right? And as a result, we had to work out all of these systems from nothing, and build them up, you know, and we were part of that crew doing it. Now most of these systems, for the most part, they've been sorted out. We've got a fairly functional ecosystem now in Cardano. We've got lending, we've got DEXs. We're about to have distributive mechanisms on Cardano for the first time with VyFi. We've got stable coins. We've got synthetic assets. So we've got synthetic Bitcoin and synthetic Ethereum. So all of these systems have sort of come together now, and we're able to be at the forefront of this. So much so that if you look at the amount of Cardano that's locked in DeFi on the blockchain, it's increased by 300% in terms of the amount of Cardano in the last 2 months.
That's massive.
Right? So much so, it's huge. So much so that although the dollar value is lower than it was a year ago, when we were just coming out of the bull, in terms of amount of Cardano, we've got more than we had in the bull locked in DeFi right now, right?
That's awesome.
So we're right now poised in a position where Cardano DeFi is about to turn on. It really is about to turn on. These tools have really come together. And what we need to do is we need to let everyone know that it's not a ghost chain anymore, right? All these things are complex, and all of these, as you're saying, you know, a lot of people don't understand the fundamental theory that underpins Cardano. But at the end of the day, that fundamental theory should matter less if we're able to build a technically more proficient product.
Spot on.
Right? Now, with our DEX, for example, we're going to have stakeless LP farming. We're going to have layer 2 liquidity pools, which lets new users engage with a single swap, and they're already liquidity mining, right? The other part of the L2 liquidity pools, just to get complex for a moment, is that it actually gives you an internal hedge against your first liquidity pool tokens, your layer 1. If I've got ADA VyFi as a liquidity pool token and I add that into a layer 2 LP with 50% ADA, my portfolio was 50% VyFi, 50% ADA, right? Now my portfolio is 75% ADA and 25% VyFi. So my effective and permanent risk is halved, right? So you're getting boosted farming while halving your impermanent risk and allowing new users to purchase your token, the LP token, from the front end, right?
That's awesome.
So all of a sudden, we've been able to make a technically more proficient DEX implementing Cardano technology. And what we need to do really is just let people discover and push it out there so that people can see the technology that Cardano is built on allows us to do things in more creative ways that makes it easier for new users to engage.
Spot on, spot on. It really is exciting. I love watching companies like yourselves, take the time. You have not rushed. You've taken a very
2 years.
Very step-by-step approach. It's all coming together. We're a couple of days away. By the time this will launch, it will be Saturday, right? They're watching it on the weekend. And the reason why I do that as well, for companies like yourself and videos like yourself, is that you kind of need the weekend, to really look up and really understand what this is. Because what I hope these viewers that are watching this now, and viewers that watch it later down the track, whenever they find this particular video, which could be in a week's time or whenever, is to take the time. Take the time, read the Medium article that's in the description, go over the socials, go over the website, really understand what you guys are up to. It's really, really exciting because the space has been filled, from the beginning, with a lot of pump and dumps and projects that come and go and people that make huge claims and then disappear. But I feel very, very happy to have you on the show because I know that how hard this team has worked and how you guys go about it. And that's really, really the important thing. Is there going to be complications that come up over the next 12 months? Of course, things happen. But when the core foundation of the team is to make a difference, really exciting things happen. And I think this is one of those projects.
Thank you so much. And that's exactly it, right? Exactly as you said, we've never been about being the first product. We want to be the best product. So we've taken our time. We've built the best product. According to our testing, we've got the fastest DEX on Cardano. So we can manage 20 swaps per block per liquidity pool. So that means initially we can manage 3,000 swaps a minute or so is our maximum capacity, right? Which is equivalent to, any DEX on any other blockchain in terms of capacity, which is for the first time in Cardano, it's going to be the first time we have that capacity on a DEX, right? Why have we been able to implement this? Because we've taken the extra year to take more time with this technology instead of trying to get a product out first, right? So all these technical advancements are what we're really proud to be bringing to the Cardano blockchain. And all these advancements for user experience on a DEX, we're really proud to be bringing to the crypto community as a whole. Because this isn't just new things in Cardano, right? These are going to be new tools for DEXs in crypto. And what we would be honored is if we start seeing other DEXs implementing the tools that we've invented, right?
Of course.
That's the best compliment we could have.
Absolutely. I think it's really, 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 really exciting. What you guys are up to. Is there any last things that people should know, or
just last final words I would actually like to add is a lot of this stuff can be a bit complex, particularly when we're talking about L2 LPs, or we're talking about well, actually we didn't talk about how we might be able to implement that into collateralization. That can be a conversation for another day. But all these discussions can be fairly complex, right? All this complexity though that we've added is to give the user a simpler and smoother front-end experience, right? And more simplified systems through which they're able to engage with decentralized finance.
Yes.
So if anyone has any questions about any of these systems, do not hesitate jumping into one of our socials and coming and ask. We're always around. We're always happy to have a chat. And we're always, and we're really excited, to show the world what we've built.
It's awesome. It's really, really exciting. I can't wait for Tuesday for us in Australia. I'll definitely be, keeping an eye out for the launch and how everything is going to unfold. For those of you that may feel a little bit overwhelmed, look, when jumping into a new platform like Cardano and downloading a Cardano wallet for the first time and all that, it's really not as hard as you might think it is initially. But the benefits and the simplicity of these new mechanisms that have been built are really, really exciting. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Thank you so much. And yeah, that's a great point. For anyone here that hasn't used Cardano before, it is a slightly separate system. We've got very much the equivalent to a MetaMask wallet. Just download a wallet called Eternal, ETERNL, or NAMI, NAMI. And then if you have any Cardano sitting around, you can put the Cardano into that wallet and engage with all of the Cardano Web3 world. And there's a lot of projects out there, not just ourselves. I highly recommend everyone coming and checking us out. As I said, Cardano DeFi is really turning on right now, and it's definitely worth checking out the ecosystem.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. And for all of you that were on here today, I can't wait to see you guys back for another show. Thank you all so much.